Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chelsea for those of you who are new here. And in today's episode of Cook With Me, we are going to be cooking some spaghetti bake. I have never made it like this, but I've seen lots of videos of people making it on TikTok and YouTube shorts and stuff like that. So we're going to give it a go. And this is everything you're going to need. We're cooking for 6, so I used 2 pounds of hamburger meat, a box of spaghetti pasta, and then a jar of spaghetti sauce. I always use chunky garden combination, but you could probably use whatever kind you wanted to. And I'm not sure if I need both of these jars or if I'm just going to use one. But you're going to need some alfredo sauce. I always use roasted garlic parmesan. And then a bag of mozzarella cheese. And for the side, we always eat this Texas toast 5 cheese bread. So, with that being said, we're going to get into it. Alright, you guys. So, just like the last time, we are going to start out with browning our hamburger meat. And you could probably put an onion in this too, but I'm not going to because I don't have any. But I think I really need a bigger skillet. And if y'all couldn't tell, this skillet's pretty old. It's got marks all around it. And I really want to try those stone skillets. Y'all know what I mean? They're like white, or I think you can get black stone. But I really want to try those. My mama has some, and she really seems to like them. So I'm trying to talk Caleb into either a Christmas gift or a birthday gift or something. He actually got me this set a couple of years ago for Christmas, so maybe I'll get lucky and get a new set soon. Alright, so while that is cooking, I am also going to start my noodles. I'm going to fill that up with water real quick. So, I'm not really sure how much water I just put in there. I kind of just fill it like halfway up. And then I'm going to start boiling that. And I'm going to put some salt in it to help keep the noodles from sticking. My little Mickey salt shaker. So I'm going to wait for that to boil, and then I'm going to put my noodles in it. And I've also got tea making too, so I've got to make that as well. And I don't know how y'all make your tea or if you even drink tea, but how much sugar do y'all put in your sweet tea? If you're Southern, then you know all about the sweet tea, and we like our tea sweet. So, I'm going to show y'all. I usually put about 4 to 5 scoops of sugar in a gallon. My little thing is dirty. I'll just set it right there. Okay, so I had to go on a treasure hunt for the sugar, but we keep our sugar in a little old coffee container, but this is the scoop that I normally put, and I usually put about 4 or 5 of these into the gallon. So, is that like average? Because I feel like that's average, but, you know, Caleb, when we first got married, he looked at me like I was crazy, like, oh my gosh, why are you putting so much sugar in the tea? But that's how much my mama always used. And I guess his parents don't really make tea that often. The only time they really make tea is when we come over for like dinner or something. Then they'll make sweet tea. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just us or not. But is that normal? Does anybody else that drinks sweet tea on a regular basis, is that how much sugar y'all put in it? Or do y'all put more in it? Because I've seen other people put more in it. But I feel like this is sufficient enough. But anyways, I know my teapot's a bit old too, but my mama actually got it for me several years ago for Christmas, so. But anyways. I like my ground beef to be finely chopped up. If Caleb ever cooks like ground beef like this, he always leaves like big chunks of it, and I'm like, gotta chop it up. I've seen other people using those little, I don't even know what it is, but it's like a meat chopper, but I always just use a spatula. And I really don't like this spatula, but my other spatula, it was like a really old one that I'm pretty sure my mama gave to me when me and Caleb moved in together, but it was just like, had this, it was an old metal one, and it had like a black handle on it, and it was really thin. I don't know why, but that was my favorite spatula. And then one night I was pressing burgers down to get the grease out of them, and it snapped in half. I almost cried. I was like, it's not my favorite spatula. Like I cook all the time, but you know. I really liked it. Now all I've got is this one and that blue-handled Pioneer woman, which it was alright to cook with, but I still like the old ones. Is that weird? Does anybody else have a favorite spatula? Alright, I think that hamburger meat is done. So I'm going to turn that off, and then I'm going to go drain the excess grease out of that. Alright, so I mentioned to somebody in a comment that when we make tea, I always have to make 2 gallons of tea. So I have to pour this into this little thing, this canister. I got it from the dollar store for $10. But I always have to make 2. So this only holds about 1.5 gallons. I had 2 of these, but the other one got broke. So now I can only make 2 gallons each time I make tea. But I'll fill this the rest of the way up, and then I'll keep the other half in there. But anyways, the water is boiling now, so I'm probably going to get some hate for this because I know a lot of people don't like when you break spaghetti, but I've got 4 kids and I've got to cut the spaghetti up anyways, so at least for the twins. I always break it in thirds. But I watched this TikTok video of this lady, and she's married to an Italian guy, and she broke noodles for spaghetti one night, and he just looks at her like, what are you doing? But you know, with a French accent, I can't do a French accent. But he was just like, that's not how you make spaghetti. You're not supposed to break it. I break my spaghetti, and I always have, just because it's easier. And I don't like it sticking out of the pot. Okay. So I got that cooking. And I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 425. So I can get this in there. And yeah, okay. Okay, so while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and add my spaghetti sauce to the hamburger meat. I don't know if I'm going to need all of it, because usually when I make spaghetti, I'll use the whole one of these. But this is just supposed to be like kind of a meat sauce, so I'll always add it all together. I put when my noodles are done, I'll put my hamburger meat in the noodles, and then I'll add the whole jar of spaghetti sauce. But that is not how you make this. So I am going to add a little bit more though. So I used everything but maybe a third of it or a quarter. I don't know. Just doing it till it looks right. I don't know why, but I'm not very good at following directions when it comes to food cooking. Because, I don't know if it's because when me and Caleb first moved in together, I would always call my mama and be like, hey, how do I make such and such? And of course, my mama doesn't follow measurements either. She's like, throw a little bit of this in there and throw a little bit of that in there. And I would be like, well, how much am I supposed to put in there? She's like, I don't know, Chelsea. I always just pour it in there until it's right. So now that's what I do. And so when I'm trying to read a cookbook, I'm like, I don't know. It just doesn't, it's just not natural. You're just supposed to know how much to put in there. But when you haven't ever cooked anything before, it's kind of hard to do that. So that looks good to me. So we're going to keep it like that. And I guess I can keep it on warm. I'm just going to put it on low. Okay. It doesn't normally take that long for the spaghetti noodles to cook. They're already getting soft, as y'all can see. And it's funny because, so this recipe wasn't in one of those cookbooks that I showed you all. I just seen it on TikTok. And right before Caleb called, when he got off work, he was like, do I need to stop and get anything? I was like, yeah, I need you to grab some Alfredo sauce and some Texas toast and some cheese. I had everything else already at the house because we eat spaghetti normally. But he was like, okay, so he went in and he got to the Alfredo sauce aisle, and he was like, well, what size Alfredo jar do I need? I was like, I don't know. I normally just use 2 jars of Alfredo, of the small ones, because I get them from the dollar store, and they're just like small jars. And he was like, well, they don't have any of the roasted garlic ones, so do you want me to get the middle size jar or the big jar? And I'm like, I don't know. I got to cook a pound of spaghetti noodles, so whatever you think will cover that. So that's why I don't know if I'm going to need 1 or 2 jars of these. So he went ahead and got 2, but You know, he said this said Alfredo on it, but it says roasted garlic parmesan. But it smells like Alfredo. So, I guess it is Alfredo. We'll see though. Alright, you guys, so the noodles are done. They are all ready to be mixed together, but I've got to drain it first. So let me do that real quick. Alright, you guys, so it is time to add the Alfredo sauce. What, honey?
Mommy.
What?
I want more cereal.
Cereal?
Mom,
What?
I want more cereal.
No, we're not eating cereal for dinner. Mommy's making some spaghetti.
I want more cereal.
I think I'm only going to need one jar. So.
Mommy! Mom!
Okay, so after you have your Alfredo and your noodles all stirred in together, you're going to add it to the baking dish. Make sure I got all these noodles. All right. I may need a bigger casserole dish too. Okay, so now that I've got the spaghetti and Alfredo in here, I'm gonna level all of that out best I can anyways. And then I'm gonna pour my spaghetti sauce and meat over top. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to use all of this, so we're gonna do this. Alright, after that I'm gonna add the mozzarella cheese to the top. We don't waste any cheese around here, you guys. Okay. So, now that we got that covered, we're gonna pop that in the oven. Forgot to add the Italian seasoning to the top of it. I'm gonna pull it out real quick and add it. So I may have let the cheese bread cook a little longer than I was supposed to. I got busy cleaning up and forgot all about them being in there. You excited to try the new spaghetti?
Yeah,
Hold on. It'll be done in just a minute, okay? I know. It's almost done. Just a few more minutes. We're letting the cheese melt.
Okay.
So the cheese is melted, but I kind of just wanted it to broil a little bit, so I put it on low. So
Can I see it? Can I see it, Mama?
yeah.
Wait.
Watch out.
Is there some?
Alright, what do y'all think? Good? Do you like this or regular spaghetti better? This? Alright, if you had to give it a number out of 10, 0 being horrible and 10 being the best spaghetti you ever had, what would you give it?
1,000. 1 billion, million, billion.
Okay, what do you think, Caleb? Do you like it better than regular spaghetti, or would you rather just have regular spaghetti?
I prefer regular spaghetti.
You don't like Alfredo sauce, though, do you?
But I mean, it's good. It's not bad.
Do you recommend?
Yeah, we know it again.
Okay.
Chicken stuff. This noodles, I don't really like the noodles.
I like it. I think it's pretty good. But I like chicken Alfredo, so. Alright, you guys, that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed and like following along with me in the kitchen, even though I have no idea what I'm doing in there most of the time, but y'all seem to enjoy it, so I'm happy about that. We're actually going to start doing a cook with me with the kids, and so I'm going to let each of them pick out a recipe from the kids cookbook, and we're going to take them separately, or I'm going to take them separately to the store, and we're going to sit down and make a list beforehand of what we need and what stuff we already have on hand that we don't need to pick up, and kind of go over a budget and whatnot with them so we can kind of build some life skills with them. And I'm going to do it separately because I've got 4 kids, y'all, and when I take all of them to the store, it gets a little bit chaotic and I get stressed out. So I feel like I do a lot better with them one-on-one when I'm trying to teach them things. So that's what we're going to do with them. And yeah, so I hope you all like that idea and follow along and watch those videos. So if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button because it really helps us out and we truly appreciate it. So we'll see you all in the next video. Bye.